Welcome to the what's this episode called?
Is it like the Transvestigators podcast or something?
Sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, okay. New co-host, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Manchunk, aka Jimbles, aka Wallaby Nipple Picker. I make videos sometimes. I want to make games, and I'm a loner, and I have a messy basement. That's disgusting.
Nice.
Yippee.
Messy basement. Are you like a hikikomori or something?
Sort of. I have a job at least, but
Yeah.
I don't socialize all that much. I'm taking meds for depression, and hopefully that'll get better, and I'll be more motivated to actually talk to people. It's just normally I don't have motivation to clean my room, so it always just gets messy.
My dad makes me clean my room because I'm a fucking child.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how normal are you?
I'd say maybe 5, I guess. I'm not super weird, but I have some normie friends online at least, but most of my friendships are online, and I'm not really socially active. Plus I'm into a lot of weird, obscure things, like obscure anime. One of my favorite shows is Video Girl I, and literally no one I've talked to knows what that show is except for me.
I don't know what that show is either. Video Girl?
Video Girl I. One of the main characters is actually my profile picture on Discord.
Oh.
Basically, it's about this loner guy that lives in an apartment. There's these videotapes in Japan for fake girlfriends and stuff like that. He finds one. It plays out like a normal fake girlfriend tape. There's a specific word for what they're called. I don't remember what they're called, but it's for lonely people. He buys this tape, puts it in the VHS. An anime is from the 90s.
Yeah.
The girl comes out of the screen. Eventually, they become genuinely infatuated with each other and fall in love. And it's a really tragic tale because you get super attached to them. The girl that comes out of the TV doesn't stay out of there forever. She eventually has to go back, and our protagonist has to deal with that.
Did they have to rewind the tape?
I don't think so. I don't think he can. The VHS heats up. It's really sad. At the end.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say 5 because that's exactly. Everyone says 5.
I know.
5 is the most normal number between 1 and 10.
To be honest, I don't really know how normal I am compared to others.
Yeah, you have to understand that the people first. We wanted to talk about a lot of things, but I want to start with some interesting factoids that I learned that explains both foot fetishism and tickle fetishism. This knowledge explains it completely. I finally understand it, So basically, tickle torture is a real thing, which I did not know that, but if you tickle someone for long enough, it does become painful.
Jeez. Getting tickled for that long, constantly having that sensation, it won't be pleasurable for very long because it's kind of sensory overload.
Exactly, it's sensory overload. So it's a form of torture that people use when they don't want to leave a bruise. Back in ancient Rome, if what you did wasn't bad enough to be crucified, but you couldn't just give you a slap on the wrist, what they will do is they tie you up and put salt on your feet and let it go in and lick it off, and then keep doing it over and over, and your feet will get really sensitive and hurt and shit because that's where the nerve endings end in the feet, so it's very sensitive. So now whenever I see tickle fetish porn or whatever, where they tickle the feet, I'm like, oh, that makes sense now.
One thing I'll never understand is cock and ball torture. That just makes me
oof. Yeah, pain in the androgynous zone.
It hurts thinking about because I remember I was on this website called The Gauntlet. It's basically an endurance test for gore videos.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but I wanted to try it just to see. I lasted till number 8, I think, or 18. The video I stopped on was a guy putting a power drill into his balls.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. It's painful to think about. Hopefully you don't get demonetized for it.
I have a weird relationship with gore, which is that I like it when it's really immediate and they die immediately, but I don't like it when it's torture.
Well, yeah, you don't want someone to suffer forever.
Yeah, so I like gore when it's shotgun to the face, explosions, kind of war and trying to efficiently kill someone as soon as possible, in a war zone. I like that, but I don't like it when they're being tortured and they're being forced to stay on it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, if someone has to die, then it's best to kill them quick. Then that way they don't have to suffer.
That's the relationship between two of the characters in the Vigilante story of mine. the Vietnam vet just wants to get the death over with and efficiently. It's just like, kill them as soon as possible, get over with. And then the teenage runaway wants to torture them and like really enjoy killing them and stuff.
I hate even thinking about killing people because, I assume everyone does, almost everyone. I mean, I hate even like punching someone in the face. Like, I hate violence.
I like it when it's a sport, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But like just attacking people.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, someone on 4chan even threatened to beat me to death because I looked like someone that bullied them in high school.
Why were you posting your face on 4chan?
Oh, it was on Soch.
You browse Soch?
Yeah, I used to, but I don't anymore.
Oh, I went into like one of those Soch threads just out of curiosity, and it was like people like posting those images about me, and then like they fell out a chart showing like, confidence, attractiveness, favorite albums, favorite movies and stuff.
That sounds like something you'd find on Soch.
Yeah, and it just feels good because, obviously with those images, you're kind of trying to sell yourself. So you want to portray yourself as something that, people want. And you don't really know a person until you meet them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it actually used to be how I met people, which is kind of regrettable to say. But it's how I met people because I have difficulty talking to people in the real world. A lot of it is because of my autism,
yeah.
I guess. I just kind of have a history of like being bullied and stuff like that.
That's why we needed an official bully.
Yeah.
I just want a story where like the bully is like secretly the good guy. It's moral ambiguity. He's like, he has to bully to like keep the other bullies down.
Yeah, moral ambiguity is fun. I wrote a D&D character a while ago, half-orc monk, and I tried to make his morality so complex that it ended up being convoluted and confusing.
Did you know that the owner of Segway died on a Segway?
Wow.
What happened was a 62-year-old James Heselden. He loved Segway so much that he bought the company in 2010. And then in the same year, he accidentally steered his Segway off a 30-foot cliff into a river while riding on his estate 140 miles from London, because in England, Segways can only be used on private property. So he was just driving around on private property because he loves Segways so much. He just bought the company. He rides the Segway's private property, and he just drove it off a cliff. I want to like Pablo at Mall Cop, and he's just like driving up a cliff. It's like, ah, he's screaming.
They can't kill him. They have to make a funny fat joke.
The other bit, he doesn't be all fat.
He's funny and he gets hurt.
Lol, fat people get hurt. Lol. I had an idea where an Adam Sandler starts like throwing movies of popular literature. So he'll do like Catcher in the Rye, and Adam Sandler would play Holden Caulfield.
Adam Sandler plays William Shakespeare.
No, but it'll be like he'll be sitting in taxi, and the taxi driver will be Kevin James, who played Pablo at Mall Cop. And they'll be like, "Hey, taxi driver, do you ever wonder where the birds go in the winter?" And then Kevin James would be like, "What? We gotta save those ducks!" And he'll like try to get out the car, but he can't because he's too fat. And I'll be, it'll just be like the entire book, but like Adam Sandler making just like weirdly racist jokes and stuff.
Or you need to remake an Adam Sandler version of Romeo and Juliet, but with poo-poo pee-pee jokes.
And they're all Italian, so he's like making a bunch of like weird Italian jokes.
Women have titties funny. And then Adam Sandler falls over, he funny. He hits a stop sign in like 1600s.
Yeah, it says here that the Segway image took a hit when George W. Bush fell off one in 2003. You would think the image would improve, throwing Bush off in 2003.
Maybe the real weapons of mass destruction is the Segways,
Yeah.
That was a very funny joke, I know.
I want, those hoverboards? I want to, have a hoverboard called the Hipster, because when you ride it, when you try to get on it, it explodes and blows everything off below your hips.
Oh, the Hipster, I get it.
There'd just be hoverboards laying around, and all the hipsters would be running toward it, and then the body has to be blown off. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's go. Transvestigators, introduce it.
Okay, so basically, I was searching through random weird videos. I remember hearing on the Charles Barkley Toll podcast, how you find weird, obscure videos.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that myself. And I found this guy ranting against gay people or something. And then you showed me this guy that thinks trans people don't exist or something.
Yeah, he thinks that most men are women and most women are men, and they're all lying.
Jesus Christ.
So like, okay, so these type of conspiracy theories happen with like people think Michelle Obama is a man, or like Britney Spears is a man, and it's like originated in that kind of like conspiracy theory realm of people who think that like popular celebrities aren't the gender they say they are.
And I screen capped a comment from a video you posted of that guy. It's like one of the best comments ever. And I was literally like dying laughing, you know, for lack of a better terminology. It's literally like the best thing you'll ever read. He used the word transvestigators and became a meme.
That's what they call themselves.
Yeah. Then I found the RealTruthVideos. He made a video about the feminine energy. I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, it's the Transvestigation and Nathan Roberts Community Cleanse #2, because I think Nathan Roberts is also a conspiracy theorist, and like he's like pointing at his videos and says, you can just feel Nathan's feminine energy. He's totally a woman and hiding. The main guy that I focus on is this guy called Hans, and he has Conspiracies by Hans 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. He creates a new one every time his old one gets deleted for like transphobia and saying horrible shit.
Jesus Christ.
But like he'll be like, I can tell that you're it's like most people who watch my YouTube are hidden trannies.
Oh god.
And you act like I can't tell by your bones. I know what male bones look like. I can look at my own male bones, and I see your bones, and they're female bones. He thinks all fat men are actually women because women naturally have more body fat.
I'm fat, so I guess I'm a woman.
And then his conspiracy theories go even farther. Like he talks about the color orange and like points to all the orange on like NASA, which I guess he thinks the Earth is flat. He goes back and forth. That's the thing. I watch his videos. One point he's saying the Earth isn't flat, and that the Earth's flat community is a bunch of hidden transgenders trying to like change the world or whatever. And then the next video, he's trying to prove the Earth is flat.
Dude, I need to like show that to H Bomber guy or something. Like we had to let him know the truth of the Transvestigators.
Yes. He talks about the color orange is satanic, and anything of orange is like a hidden transgender plot. He says that apes are fake animals.
Fake animals.
He's like, he just look at birds, and I kind of get what he's saying, because he's just saying, look at the apes, they walk so weirdly, they look human but not. So he's getting like an uncanny valley effect, you know, of like seeing apes act human but not. So I can kind of see where he's coming from in the sense that like they look kind of fake in a weird way, but he just thinks that apes aren't real. And he has a video where he's like,
yeah,
all the apes you see in the zoos, they're just people in suits. And like, what about the smaller apes? What about the baby apes?
Donkey Kong is propaganda to make us think gorillas are real.
Exactly.
And Curious George is also propaganda to make us think monkeys are real. No.
The RealTruthVideos commented on a Conspiracies by Hans video. It says, real natural men. We are really a minority in this tranny land. As for the great ape fakery.
Oh, here it is.
As for the great ape fakery. Many people still don't see it, like the moon landings. And many people blinded by their satanic work, but Masons can't win, and God is on our side. Amen. People say, oh yeah, space isn't real.
I wonder if people will keep saying certain things aren't real until they come to the conclusion that reality itself isn't real, and that they aren't real.
There's a video called The Transvestigation of Trump, the Orange Tranny.
The Orange Tranny.
It's like...
Okay. That reminds me, I found a channel the other day. I posted a thumbnail from it in here. Trump's epic list of achievements. I searched up SJW on this search engine just to find some dumb shit.
Yeah.
How the feminists are ruining our video games or whatever. I found this one girl that posted a video that said Brawny is going SJW. And it just says strength has no gender. Like something very basic like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's proof of Brawny going SJW.
One time I searched on YouTube for the word libtard and filtered to the last hour, and I found this 50-year-old man with a really long beard hanging out in his basement, and he makes a video every single day where he just pointed the camera at his computer screen, reading like some article that makes him mad. And then he'll like turn the camera toward himself, be like, "Ooh, the libtards are at it again!" And then point the camera back at the screen and be like, "They want to do this, and change the campus." Turn back to himself and like stroke his beard. These libtards don't know what they're doing. And he makes like a video every single day of this exact format. He just films the screen of articles he doesn't like on the news.
It's like Sargon of Akkad, but more primitive. That's basically Sargon of Akkad's like video structure.
These guys are just like copying people with better editing, but they're doing the same thing.
I'm amazed you managed to find a channel worse than Sark on the Pod.
I found this one little girl who like makes videos in class at elementary school, and in the comments it says like, Natalie, I told the teacher you're making videos in class.
Posted that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
What stories have you written so far for the Conspiracy Theory Cinematic Universe?
So I'm working on one like set during the Napoleonic era where reptilians are trying to like take over Napoleon, and these secret societies are trying to stop him. Like one of the scenes I have planned is revolves around the Turkish chess player. Do you know about this?
I don't actually.
So back in the day, there were like automatons or automations that are just like giant dolls with gears and stuff in them, making them like draw and perform actions.
Early
robots, yeah, but they can only do like one task, and they're completely analog. All gears and stuff, all pre-20th century, all pre-microchips. So it's really cool. The most famous example was the Turkish chess player, which would be like a box, and on top of it was a doll of like a Turk, and he's like wearing like typical Turkish garbs, and he would play chess against people and usually win. He only lost against like 2 or 3 chess masters who challenged him, but other than that, he beat them. They would transport this Turkish chess player all around the world, all around Europe, it's 1700s, and he would like open up the box and say, see, there's no one inside, open up all the boxes, nothing inside, reveal the doll and say, just machines, and then he would have someone play it, and the Turkish chess player would just have a robotic arm, pick up chess pieces and put them down, and play against people, and people would try to cheat the machine to see if it knew it was cheating, and like it would like smack the board with its mechanical arm. It's like, I know you're cheating. So some famous people who fought it were Benjamin Franklin and Napoleon. And of course, eventually it was revealed that it was a hoax. There was actually a guy much farther below who was like playing the game, because obviously artificial intelligence didn't exist back then. It was a hoax. But it was just a show. It was just like a magic show. Everyone's like, oh, this robot is playing chess. Good chess players would make some cash by getting inside of the robot. It's very interesting. The plot I have is that Napoleon is going to play against a Turkish chess player. A real event that happened. He played against him and lost. Like, Napoleon got really bad. So he plays against a Turkish chess player. The reptilians are there. The secret society is there. Basically, early automatons are part of the story. And using, like, magic and, like, old, machinery and, like, watches and stuff. Kind of like steampunk, but before steampunk.
Woodpunk?
Woodpunk, sure.
Because like almost everything was made of wood at the time, from what I gather.
Napoleon is going to play this game against a Turkish chess player automaton that's just like basically a magic trick. The reptilians are trying to like take him out before he goes, and the secret societies are trying to like find them, and like eventually they discover one, kill it, realize that oh shit, there's fucking aliens are real, it's a demon. They start having like magic duels and shit.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I definitely want to have a story set that, like, during the Crusades, where, like, we have, like, the Holy Grail and stuff, because holy relics are definitely going to play a part in the story throughout the entire history. Holy Grail, Crown of Thorns, the True Cross, because it's, like, built off of, like, Christian lore, sort of, but not. So there's another idea I have about a bloodline of demon/vampire hunters that work within the Russian Orthodox Church. So they're like a long line of Russians from, whatever, how long that's been, since the 1500s or something. So just like this long lineage. And then when the Soviets took over, they eliminated the church. So that bloodline moved out of Russia during the, 1917 October Revolution or whatever, 1922. I forget the exact date, but that's not important. The point is they moved to France. And then when the French got taken over by the Nazis in World War II and became Nazi-occupied France, they fought with the resistance, and they met the characters from the World War II story, the ones who were fighting for the Spear of Destiny. So they're part of the story. They helped them fight. They helped the occultists fight in World War II to get back the Spear of Destiny, and then after that, they stay in France. The main vampire demon hunter bloodline has a son or grandson, and we follow the son or grandson who is the last of his lineage. Everyone else died. And he just kind of runs like a solo business, getting hired by anyone the church says has like a demon or vampire. But the main idea is that one time he got really drunk and masturbated in public. So he's a public masturbator by day, demon hunter by night. And he's like a weeaboo. Something like that. Either that or he's really into like comics, and he's also really into drawing, so he like tries to draw his own comic and stuff on the side, and then he lives alone as like a NEET using his funds from hunting demons and stuff. And you had an idea for one set in the 90s?
Yes, in the late 90s, like the advent of the internet and the Conspiracy Theory Cinematic Universe, and how the Greys made it different.
Yeah.
The Greys made computers advance differently than in our reality. So it's about this psychic girl and like his brother, who's a technology dude. Like he's a software developer. So like the guy develops a team of software developers and computer technicians to build a program that makes interacting with the astral plane easier, so that psychics have more access to it and doesn't take as long.
Yeah.
Secret societies want that technology for their own gain. The main characters want that to make it to enhance humanity to a new vista. How I plan on structuring the story, or how I wanted to structure the story, was have it in the style of like a late 90s type website, like a GYPSY type thing. There are various like diary entries that the main character, the psychic girl, writes about her experiences with the team. It starts at around 1997 and ends at around somewhere in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically my idea.
Yeah, I had 2 ideas. Okay, one character set in the 90s and one story idea set in the 90s. One of them is, okay, so it's either like late 80s, right when the Cold War is about to end, like just after the Cold War ended. So like turn of 80s and 90s, Soviet Union dissolves, Berlin Wall's being taken down, the Cold War is ending, and the sort of nuclear war is ending. The reptilians are like, oh shit, we gotta set the nukes off, we gotta kill them all, so we can take the planet for ourselves. The reptilians have been, hiding since the Napoleonic story. The few of them that survived that, and they can only have like one child every 100 years or something. It's one of those kind of alien species. The story is that the reptilians have infiltrated, the governments, and they've, destroyed most of what could stop the nuclear war, and they're going to set off the fucking computer. But there is a failsafe that will immediately shut down the nuclear launch, which is split apart 8 floppy disks across America. I want to incorporate magic and computers. So the secret society is starting to transfer a lot of their data from written text onto computers, and then encrypting the computer with both regular encryption and magic encryption.
Oh, that's interesting, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. I might utilize that somehow in my stories, man.
Yeah, so I should also say that one of the main secret societies in America is called, I don't know what it's called yet, I don't know the name, but basically the secret society was created after the Salem witch trials. So they have some name that relates to Salem, or some name that implies the Salem witch trials. Basically it's implied that the witches in the Salem witch trials were real and that they took care of them, and decided to spread the organization across America to stop witches and other stuff, and make sure magic is in the right hands. Those are the main American, they're only located in America. In Europe there are different secret societies and stuff. The secret societies they all have different beliefs and different... The only connection is that they all know magic is real, and they all know parts of the true history of humanity.
I remember you mentioned Sons of Cain or something.
Yeah, because Cain was the original vampire.
Yeah, I actually made a flag for that I drew.
Oh, you did?
I used the symbol of Cain. I looked it up on Google.
Yeah, it's the symbol of Cain.
And the logo is a stone with blood trickling down it.
Yes.
The symbol of Cain in the middle of.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah. And the background is dark red with red corners.
We gotta make this a real thing.
Yeah.
The Salem Society or something. That's a working title, Salem Society, because it 2 S's. It's the SS. They're not the SS. So the Salem Society, working to transfer their information to computers. There's some internal debate about whether or not they should do that, because computers might be able to be hacked. Books are already protected by blood packs and stuff. But they're this is the future. We have to learn to incorporate magic and technology, blah blah blah. Anyway, they find information that the reptilians are infiltrating. One of the spies in the American government is tells them about this and kills one of them. They have to go across these different US bases and sneak into them and take the 8 floppy disks and then perform some magic spell on them, put them into one of the... This is a bit different system, because technology is a bit more advanced. Nukes are a bit more advanced. So there is one point of failure that if you put the 8 floppy disks in, no nukes will launch. And that is in Area 51.
Wow. The nukes are protected by magic and stuff like that?
I don't know if the governments of the world know about magic. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out.
Well, maybe I'm assuming some of them secretly do, since the conspiracy theories, a lot of conspiracy theories involve members of the government.
Yeah, maybe small groups within the government, but not the entire government, of course.
Okay. I assume it'd only be the president that knows, right?
Probably we'll have the presidents just kind of aware of a lot of it.
Yeah, imagine the main characters are it's a travel story. Yeah. Sorry, my brother's calling me. Yeah, I'm doing a podcast, dude. So, like, I assume that, like, the main characters are, like, traveling across the world.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that's a cool idea, man.
Yeah, so there's a character idea I have that has to be set in the 90s because of her character, but I don't know how she's going to introduce in the plot yet. Basically, she has a very, very bad memory and the inability to recognize faces. She has very bad memory. She can't recognize people's faces, so she'll meet people who know her and she doesn't know them. So to help her remember, her room contains a large archive of journals, photo albums, and home movies. Basically, a computer, right? Because it's before computers. She adds to this every time something happens that she considers worth remembering. Like, she's really into photography. She'll, like, take pictures of her friends and say, like, this is worth remembering. I'm going to put this in my archive and flip through it later. So, because she has terrible memory, she's like, I'm going to forget this, so I need to take a photo so that I'll help me remember.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Like, that makes her a really interesting character.
I don't know how she's going to choose in the plot, but the idea is that maybe she's a photographer. It's her job, because she's really into photography and archiving information. So maybe she works for, like, a newspaper, and the newspaper is, like, researching a conspiracy, researching some kind of cult, and then the main guy gets killed and she has to investigate it. And then she finds out that, like, someone that she knew when she was younger, like a friend that she had, was, like, connected to the cult, and she, like, looks at her album and is like, oh shit, I think another person, like, calls her and, like, tries to, like, infiltrate the cult.
The struggle's, like, her trying to remember the information.
I mean, the main idea is just that she records everything. She just has, like, you know, a lot of journals and home movies. She has a little, like, VHS camcorder and stuff. Just because she archives everything, she just happened to have a lot of information about the cult she didn't realize because of her friend back in school, who was, like, you know, a punk. You know, it's like the 90s. She's like a punk girl, her friend is.
Grunge type.
Yeah, so main character girl is not, but her friend is, like, you know, into Nirvana and crap like that, you know. She goes to information and, like, compares, you know, what the newspaper is researching to what her photos of her friend are, and realizes that this girl's in the cult, and tries to, like, reconnect so that she can connect, and, like, uses her archive to help her, all the interactions she had with this one girl, which she maintained over, like, the last couple of years. Yeah, I was also thinking that maybe the girl, because when she gets interrogated by the cult, whenever that happens, about what she knows about the cult, or, you know, they use a psychic that works within the cult to sense if she's lying, but because she forgets everything, and she forgot everything that, like, that they're being interrogated about, the psychic can't sense it, so she can get past psychic readings using her bad memory. Yeah, that's this one character story.
The only reason I say, like, wow a lot because I don't know how to respond. But I really do like your ideas, man.
Conspiracy theorists. I love them.
I'll have to post that flag pic.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Find in my everything folder because my desktop cluttered, like even duplicated multiple files. I was cleaning out my desktop and accidentally put my recycling bin in there, duplicated a bunch of files.
You should use some kind of, like, duplicate image finder that, like, finds duplicate files and stuff.
Something like that exists?
Yeah, I use it on my meme folder all the time. So the vigilante story, if it gets incorporated into the Conspiracy Cinematic Universe, if I decide to merge them, the story will be that they go for, like, a couple months or something, just, like, killing random criminals and, like, you know, doing vigilante stuff, being the Punisher. And then they just walk into, like, find one drug group, kick in, kill a bunch of people, and then they find, like, a girl being, like, crucified onto the floor with a pentagram around it and stuff. Like, what the fuck? The guy who's also in the room quickly throws, like, a Molotov into the room and then lights her on fire, and then, like, a demon, like, pops out. They're like, what the fuck? Vietnam vet reaches under his trench coat, pulls out a MAC-10, starts firing 30 rounds of 9mm into the demon. The demon is injured, but still chasing him. Then run away, quickly grabs, like, you know, a fire escape axe and, like, just, like, axes him. And then truck driver comes up with the shotgun, slam fires his fucking M1897 into the demon. It gets taken down. Demon's dead. They're like, demons are real. What's going on? They're, like, looking through. The Molotov has burned a lot of the books. They find pieces of the book. They realize that this is all over. This is being sent. This is mass produced. This has been copied. The cult is, like, a drug crime ring. There's a drug crime ring all across America that uses magic and alchemy to create drugs and, you know, run select slaves and, like, get people to they can sacrifice to, like, you know, bring power to them. And they're like, we have to take these guys down.
I know it's a very, like, lackluster reaction, but, like, it's pretty cool. Like, it's interesting how you, like, cross those over. I made the thing in Krita, while I'm doing this, I'll talk about my interdimensionality/planetary sim idea.
Yeah.
I plan for this to be a long-term thing that I slowly develop. It's sort of a galaxy simulator. You can pick from 10 planets. Like, you start with a randomly generated galaxy. What planets support life? Basically, how it works is each planet you pick can have up to 5 or so timelines the planet goes through at its own individual pace. Basically, you start off with customizing the biochemistry of the life on your planet, deciding how continents form and what color planet's version of water is from the ground up, how life develops. You can make silicon-based life forms. During the prehistory timeline, once you choose to imbue a specific species with intelligence, that's what starts the history era of that planet.
Dude, furries are gonna love this game.
Oh yeah, this are gonna create a society. These last 2 or so timelines. The history timeline can last either forever or it can end with an apocalyptic event.
Yeah.
Apocalyptic event can happen but the intelligent species can survive. And that's where the post-apocalypse timeline comes in.
Nice.
Every species manages to survive a post-apocalyptic event of any kind. That would be the post-apocalyptic period. After that would be the rebirth period, which would mean the rebirth of dominance for that species. It's really cool. It's not super developed just yet. I only came up with it today or so. But
do you know about Sonic Archie comics?
Thing?
With Sally Acorn and... I'm just pointing post because we never got back to this, but I really want to cover this because there's no other time I'm going to be able to do it. So, the narrative of Sonic Archie comics is really fucking whack. Because it started with the Sonic characters in Green Hill Zone fighting Robotnik, and why he was human was never explained, but it didn't have to be. Everyone was animals but Robotnik, and that was all you needed to know. But when Sonic Adventure came out, and Sonic Adventure 2, they were set on Earth. Never explained in those games why they were on Earth instead of a fictional planet called Mobius where everyone is an animal, but they had to explain it in the comics. So, here is the secret history of the planet Mobius as described in the comics to explain why humans exist on Mobius. So, 13,000 years before Sonic and his friends were around was the 21st century of Earth. An alien species called Xorda sent an ambassador to Earth, but a very, very, very early ancestor of Robotnik and his crew dissected the alien. The Xorda aliens saw that humans were dissecting one of their own, took this as a declaration of war, and launched a gene bomb. A sort of bioweapon meant only to kill humans, but to leave other animals and life on Earth safe. So Earth's wildlife and nature would be okay. They didn't want to nuke it, only kill humans. The gene bomb is what mutated animals into the anthropomorphic Sonic creatures we know. But a few humans did survive through rare genetics or whatever and devolved into overlanders, which have 4 fingers instead of 5, because, not a stylistic choice from cartoony humans being drawn in 4 fingers, and that's a gene bomb de-evolution at work. But just prior to the Xorda attack on Earth, a number of small cities were built in concealment underground to protect a small population of humans from the gene bomb strike as part of the Hidden City Initiative. So a self-sufficient city was established deep within a mountain that would later become Station Square from Sonic Adventure 1, complete with an artificial sky and climate control. These humans have 5 fingers and are the real humans, not overlanders, which have 4 fingers. So they're now 2 separate species that evolved from humans, regular humans and overlanders. Overlanders are not as advanced as humans, which have guns. Overlanders instead dabble in the occult science of techno-sorcery, living in medieval-type societies. There was a great war between the Overlanders and Mobians. And Mobians are just, Sonic anthropomorphic animals. And the Overlanders had an advantage until Robotnik defected to the Mobians, helping them win and then Machiavellian his way into controlling their empire. Mega Man is canon, at least until the Super Genesis wave. The method in which Sonic's world was rebooted was when Eggman used the Chaos Emeralds to rewrite reality how he wants, and Sonic and Mega Man stopped it from affecting Mega Man's parallel universe, but Sonic's got rebooted. And so because of the Super Genesis wave, Sonic now has a new continuity up to this point. The actual reason for this reboot was because of a lawsuit with Ken Penders, writer for the comics, where Ken claimed he owned a bunch of the characters he made and not Archie. Archie tried to find the files and contracts that said that any character Ken made for the comic were owned by Archie, but they couldn't find them, so Ken won the lawsuit that he shouldn't have been able to win. So they had to do a reboot, Super Genesis wave, to restart the universe without all the heavy lore and characters Ken made over the years.
I found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay, post it.
Here it is. Disciples of Cain.
Oh, shit.
You like it?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I did it in Krita.
Yeah.
So
it's just weird. You made that. Why'd you tell me you made that, dude?
I didn't know if I should post on Twitter and tag you with it, or if I should post it here. So I got kind of confused about where I should put it.
Oh.
because I didn't know if you'd be online to see it.
I'm always online. Wow. I never did out-of-body experience.
Like seeing the art.
Yeah, it's awesome, first of all. And it totally fits with, like, my idea of Cain just kind of being, like, a cult leader of, like, vampires. You heard that one of my stories that, like, Alexander the Great was also going to be, like, a small, like, vampire cult leader.
Yeah, that might be a flag that I have to make.
Alexander the Great's cult.
I might continue to use Krita because of that. Like, I haven't used Krita since I made that.
Oh.
I have mostly Photoshop. But you want to know how I made the Cain logo?
How'd you do that?
Like, I looked up a picture of the symbol of Cain on Google Images that you mentioned in episode 3 of the podcast.
Yeah.
I replicated that using a brush that made it look like those ancient sort of brush strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my best to, like, sort of draw it. I might do more of these in the future. I might make one based off that cult of, like, Salem witches.
Yeah, working title Salem Society. I don't know if that's going to stick, but... because it's an SS, but it's implied that they came from the witch trials and, like, worked in America since then.
I might have to make a flag based off that. I'm already imagining, like, a sort of whitish background with, like, navy blue.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I think of when I think of Salem witch trials for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a yellowish white, like, parchment paper.
You definitely gotta post this on Twitter and I'll retweet it, dude.
Yeah, man. I'll tag you in it.
Definitely. I have the basic idea of the setting. I have the basic rule set. You know, magic is real. There's a bunch of secret societies. Vampires are real. Reptilians come 1700s. Greys come 1940s. Basic rules. And again, magic works like you have to sacrifice something, so most requires like losing body parts and stuff, because I like that kind of stuff.
It has such an extensive history. It kind of reminds you of the Warhammer 40k universe.
Yeah.
I watched this guy named the Exploring series who talks about like Eddie lore, and he recently started doing Warhammer 40k lore. Like he did like the first couple episodes like a week or two ago. They're really good. Like they explain the early history of the ancients, like the ancient races, how humanity developed from Terra, and like the story about the Emperor.
Yeah, have you heard of Shadowrun?
I heard the name, but I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick story overview of Shadowrun, because Shadowrun definitely influenced the conspiracy thing. So the story of Shadowrun is that the Mayan calendar. So basically, you know, the Mayan calendar ended in 2012, right? The 5th calendar ended in 2012 when the 6th calendar began. And every even number calendar, magic enters the world. And every odd number calendar, magic leaves the world.
Oh.
So the last time magic was around was before the 5th Mayan calendar. And then when the 5th Mayan calendar began, magic left the world. So Mayan mythology is like introduced into it. In 2012, magic becomes real. People who have latent like elf genes and orc genes and like hobbit genes and all that like turn into those races.
Oh.
And racism becomes actual racism.
Wow.
Like real racism in our world just kind of goes away because like, wait, people are turning into elves and orcs. Yeah, so in the story of Shadowrun, the world goes into chaos. Native Americans realize that their like tribal stuff that didn't work for thousands of years work again. So they like destroyed America. Like America is completely gone except for one city in like Seattle. It's a mega city. Mega corporations have their own countries now. Because, like, the world basically ended, right?
That reminds me of something I came up with a while ago. It was called McDonaldland. About, like, if McDonald's became a massive city-state, people lived in play places as houses, and the only TV they watched were constant McDonald's advertisements. McDonald's had, like, a robot army, scientists working for, like, the McDonaldland McClones.
The McClones.
Where one of them gets killed in a factory, like one of the McDonald's scientists. And like once they kick out Ronald McDonald as like the face of McDonaldland, sort of, he becomes a terror and fights against tyranny of McDonaldland over its citizens.
Did the other fast food restaurants exist as?
I don't think so. But,
there's no Burger King ruling over his nation.
Yeah, I guess maybe I could add that, but. There's like McDonald's you have to enter like a wacky fun slide to get inside.
Okay, so the world ends in Shadowrun, right? On 2012. Mega corporations create their own nations. There's 10 of them. The one in Mexico that's focused on like mastering Aztec, you know, magic and stuff is called Aztechnology. And so there's a whole bunch of corporations, there's 10 of them that rule the world, basically. And if you work for the corporation, you work for them for life. And they own cities. Each corporation has their own laws and stuff. And people are mastering magic and cybernetics because it's set in like the late 21st century. So it's cyberpunk with magic.
Great. I've always wanted to see like what futuristic fantasy settings look like.
Yeah. So there's people with cyborg attachments that like, will lose an arm and get a cyborg arm, but the thing is the more cybernetic attachments you get, the less of a connection you have to the life force. So the more, cybernetic attachments you get, the less magic you can use. So you can choose to either like go fully into magic or go fully into technology or go halfway,
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the Shadowrunners, the main characters in this role-playing game are the Shadowrunners who are hired by corporations to like, assassinate others and like do political espionage and stuff and magic and shit. So that's the setting of Shadowrun.
That's pretty cool. That reminds me of like the whole like aspect of like cybernetics and like distancing yourself from like the humanity thing. For some reason, that makes me think of like this idea that I've had that I sort of came up with that I haven't really written down much of.
Yeah.
It's a game called Cell Phones Bad. An old man named Old Man Jones, that's his working name, I guess. He basically is like one of those old people that like yells at kids that complains about people always being on their phones.
Yeah.
The plot kind of revolves around him and various like past and future iterations of him. Like he meets a past iteration from the 70s. That's like back like the 70s or 80s, like back when TV was becoming popular.
Yeah.
And like that guy calls like TVs idiot boxes and stuff like that, and they have to stop the change demon. There's basically a shadowy figure controls everything they don't understand.
It's the grandson.
Yes, that's a good idea. There's also a future iteration of him where he's from like the 2030s. Brain computers are the hip new thing, and he's upset about that.
Yeah.
So like they coalesce together to defeat the change demon so that their fears can be settled.
When I was a little kid, I had a comedic story idea, which probably not very politically correct today, but when I was in middle school, it was called Obesia, the nation of Obesia. And everyone is so fat they can just roll their entire bodies across, like, everywhere. So they can't walk, because they're just little stubs of feet, and they just kind of roll everywhere.
Wall-E taken to the extreme.
Yeah, it's Wall-E. And they all eat, like, deep-fried butter sticks. and they all, like, consume butter. And when they fight in wars, Obesians are naturally like very resistant to bullets because they build up so much fat that their fat is like layers of Kevlar.
That's my dream, man.
And they roll around over their enemies and like kill Nazis and stuff by like rolling over them.
Yeah.
And then when there was a great butter shortage, like Red Cross is flying into Obesia to give emergency butter.
Wow.
Because and then like family members are like melting into puddles of butter, and the other families have to eat them to survive. Wow. I was like 12. It's really horrible.
Yeah. We live in a society where fat people get to be fat. I'm deep.
I'm 14. This is deep.
One of my favorite subreddit.
It's like someone's holding up their phone to take a selfie of themselves, and then it shows like a Nazi doing the Hail Hitler next to him, also with his hand up. See, this is the same thing.
It's like an idiocracy, guys. I'm so smart.
Oh yeah, either. Fucking my dad's friend unironically said that we're becoming idiocracy.
Oh god, I hate that so much.
I know, it's terrible.
I haven't even watched the movie and I hate that so much. It's interesting how that movie has basically become power fantasy for pseudo-intellectuals.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I thought it was a funny movie when I watched it when I was like 12 or whatever. But it was a comedy.
Anything related to idiocracy, like in the comments section of it, like on the internet,
yeah,
you're bound to find something embarrassing. Like regardless of like where you are, you're bound to find some like pretentious, I look at all these people that are stupider than me. We live in a society. This is like an idiocracy, guys.
I went to high school for 7 years. I'm no dummy. Hey, sluts. Let's prevent idiocracy by like producing more babies. Smart babies.
Yeah.
I want to see a Tinder profile of a guy like, we're becoming idiocracy, you have to stop it by having very sexy, smart women fuck me.
It's like Elliot Rodger mixed with everyone on the internet that says we're living in an idiocracy.
Yeah, fucking Elliot Rodger.
With the fucking Truman Show and Matrix comparison, Ever Red Pillar says, it's like in The Matrix. The Matrix is a good movie. The feminazis stole my ice cream. And every conspiracy theorist is like, it's like in the Truman Show. And every very smart person is like, it's like an idiocracy.
Exactly. The trio.
Yeah, the trilogy of not understanding the point of a movie.
Have you seen that image of like men's rights activists often cite the first time to realize there was a woman's world? They call this red pill moments. After the scene in the Matrix where the main character is faced with the decision to swallow a red pill and recognize the true nature of the world, or take the blue pill and continue living a lie. For Elam, that revelation came when at age 13, when his mother tried to force him to take his diarrhea medicine. Elon, runs a website or, a podcast or something for MRA, and he has a daughter, and, every time his daughter comes to meet him, she, tries to talk him out of it. It's but you're one of the good ones.
What kind of games do you like to play?
I like, fast-paced reaction time 2D games, Hotline Miami, Duck Game Celeste, or whatever.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play Duck Game, but I never got the chance to buy it.
Yeah, and what's the other game? Super Meat Boy. I beat Super Meat Boy 106%.
When you said fast-paced 2D stuff, I was thinking bullet hell shooters like Toho.
Yeah, I want to get into that. I want to get into Toho, but I just don't know how.
Yeah, same. I don't know how either. Literally, the only exposure to bullet hell I have is the beginning of Nier Automata, which I got just recently.
I love stories that are set in a really, really far future, because most future stories are set it's in 100 years or something. I know there's the classic The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, where he goes into 3 million years in the future. Humans are just cavemen again or whatever. There's some other animal. Oh jeez. There's all these stories where the world is being burned by the sun or whatever, and humans. It's just very hard to predict the future. I liked how Battlestar Galactica did it. In the story Battlestar Galactica, they left Earth and went to a new planet.
My brothers are being loud. Is that why you're stopping?
Yeah. But
I'll tell them to quiet down. Hey, dude, I'm doing a podcast. It's being kind of loud.
Oh my god.
Go upstairs.
Oh my god.
Alright. Anyways, continue with what you were saying.
I was saying I like Battlestar Galactica because the story is that the Cylons are the robots that are rebelling and overtaking. So on the Battlestar Galactica, the main spaceship they use, they have to use analog technology because if they use advanced technology, the Cylons can hack it. So on the spaceship, they use wire telephone lines, all that stuff. They use really simple.
I actually haven't watched Battlestar Galactica. Is it an anime or something, or is it
it's a TV show from the early 2000s. It was 6 seasons or whatever.
Oh.
It's one of those Game of Thrones type of things where it's a really, really long story of lots and lots of characters. It's one of those.
Oh yeah. I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I've had friends that do.
Yeah. Me and my parents watched Battlestar Galactica when I was little. We really liked it. But the story is, because the Cylon robots are constantly at war with the Battlestar Galactica and all the other spaceships, they can't use advanced technology because the Cylons could hack it. And the Cylon spaceships are very basic, high robot, high artificial intelligence, science fiction-y, and you don't have to think about how humans incorporate into it because they're they're all machines and they're all computers. So it's a lot less imagination of trying to think how would humans use this technology because it's just how would robots use it. And the humans have to use more old technology so they can't be hacked. So so it was a very good plot reason to justify why they can use old technology and not be seen as why aren't you using super advanced stuff? Because they can't.
That's really cool,
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica is a good show.
Yeah, I need to watch it because
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me, I recently got a game, Ready Player Fuck. It's a parody of Ready Player One.
Yeah.
It's basically just a clusterfuck of pop culture references, which is basically what Ready Player One is, but it's satirical.
Yeah.
Basically, you play as Zachary something Touchdown. I forgot his middle name, and it plays off the plot of Ready Player One, going to the Oasis. You live in a big pile of cars called the Stacked.
Yeah.
You go into the Oasis, and it's a bunch of Tony Hawks and Hatsune Miku with long legs.
Yeah, it's what Ready Player One would be.
And you find the page of Ernest Clean. You find pages of Ernest Clean's diary. That's one of the main things you do in the game. And one of the pages you find there's a part where you can read the pages. And one of the pages you find mocks his poetry. You can accumulate a ranking based on how much BO you exude. Pretty great. And basically the poem is about how much he loves gamer girls.
Yeah.
You'll see a parody of the one poem Ernest Klein made, the Nerd Girl or whatever, and his nerd porn auteur thing. Yeah, Ready Player Fuck is a good game.
You should also check out, if you like that, you should check out Broken Reality, which is a 3D parody of the internet where you travel around a vaporwave 3D internet landscape and like quests and stuff.
Yeah, that actually kind of reminds me of another thing. It was called Hypnospace Outlaw. Basically, it takes place in like late 90s internet. The way you connect to the internet is like through a headset.
Yeah.
You play as a cyber police thing that monitors online harassment and stuff like that. There's like early CGI GIFs, and you can customize like your own website, browse other websites with like the sort of GeoCities, like early, like late 90s aesthetic.
Yeah, make sure to give me all these links I can post in the description.
Hypnospace Outlaw on Steam.
Yeah, bunch of that. That looks like a cool game.
Yeah, it's made by a game dev I follow on Twitter, actually.
Nice.
Should I post a link to Ready Player Fuck in there?
I can find that. I just hit the Space Outlaw specifically, but is there anything else you wanted to cover?
I wasn't really prepared. I'm kind of like bad at talking in a lot of these segments. I just respond with wow.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else to say.
I get that. Well, you guys script everything.
Like with making videos, I often have trouble voicing them because I don't know whether to script them or talk off the. Because like with scripting them, I don't want it to sound too robotic, and with talking off the cuff, I don't want it to be too stuttery. I want people to actually understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think the fear of sounding robotic is you could totally read scripts in a non-robotic voice. You just gotta put your flair into it.
Because I was always wondering how you're able to talk for so long, like just and like you script your videos.
I script everything. I cheat, and I edit out all the silences. I'll like be silent for like 2 minutes thinking about what to say. I'm a big cheater.
Yeah, I remember I actually used to unironically be a fan of the Procrastinators podcast.
Uh-huh.
I remember one of them said that like people who edit podcasts are like terrible or something. It was like the dumbest thing I heard.
Yeah.
Like even at the time, you kind of have to edit that stuff if you don't want like lingering just crap all the time.
Yeah, and they do edit podcasts. They remove like when they stutter. Well, not when they stutter, but like when people are talking over each other, they purposely remove that.
I don't have much else to cover. I think we should sign off.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, make sure to link your channel. Yeah, I'm gonna link a bunch of the stuff. I'm gonna link your channel because your YouTube channel is pretty cool and all that good stuff. Yeah, so that's the fucking Transvestigators podcast or Hiki Horsecast. I don't even know, man. But this has been good. We'll sign off. We'll see you on the astral plane. Bye.
Bye bye.